If there's going to be one underlying theme that pervades the save, it's going to be self-inflicted technical issues. And if only there was an H somewhere in self-inflicted technical issues, I'd have a really good acronym, because that's kind of what I feel like right now. We are 8 games into the season because I had a microphone issue the first episode and didn't notice it. And so, essentially, I'm recording the first episode again. So the third season of Time to Get Real gets underway. The board expects us to finish in the promotion playoffs, which should be eminently doable, assuming I don't shoot myself in the foot and somehow stop us from doing that. And frankly, I'm running out of toes to shoot off, next to shins and then knees. So, that said, we're going to have a recap of the transfer window, a recap of the games we played. My wife's texting me, so I got to figure out what that is. Let's see what's going on. It's time to get real. And we're going to start here on the transfer windows. Let me take this part off here real quick. As you can see, we did have one out, and that wasn't unexpected. With the way Miguel Martin played the past couple of seasons, he was going to attract the attention of better teams, and that's what ended up happening. He left for 175,000 euros, going up to 210,000 euros based on appearances. I don't know that I'll be seeing all that, because for Albacete Balompié, he has been sitting on the bench so far. But we did get a little bit of money for him. It went back on the transfer budget. However, we did not spend any of it just yet. On the ends, we did sign Quique Clemente full-time. This was a nice signing for us. He was really good for us when he was on loan. He's a solid defender. I'm more than happy to sign him. Also, we re-signed Alex Robles to a loan agreement. That happened last season, so it's not showing up here. He is back on loan. The first big in, Pedro Ruiz, who is Martin's replacement. 4-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, 6'6", 205-pound target man. Absolutely brilliant striker so far. As you can see down here at the bottom, we've played 7 games. We've scored 7 goals. He's scored 7 goals. He's 1 of 2 on penalties, 2 players in the match, a 7.80 rating so far. It says he's injury prone, but so far, knock on wood, he hasn't had anything happen to him. I like the fact that he's pretty decently left-footed, and he's very strong on the right foot. This was a really nice pickup. He was playing for Real Madrid Castilla, who I want to say is like not their B team, because I think they do have a B squad. No, this is their B squad. Okay, I was completely wrong on that, because Barcelona has a Barcelona B squad, and I guess Real Madrid Castilla is their B squad. He's played there for a while. He had one season where he got 31 appearances, scored 6 goals, and a 6.81 rating. We picked him up on a free. They let him go. We beat out a couple of teams to sign him, which was very, very nice, and I've more than been rewarded for it. Mikel Garonio comes to us as a defensive center back. 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. Where did he play for? He was part of Vitoria and then had a loan spell at Eibar, which didn't last too long. And then last year for Vitoria, a decent season, 17 starts, 1 goal, 1 player of the match for a 7.0, but they let him go on a free. We picked him up. Solid defender for us. Is splitting time with Clemente, Tendillo, and Rochi. I've got a nice rotation going on there, but Tendillo's coming off the bench more often than not. So really good physicals. The mentals are nice. The bravery and composure are a bit on the low side, but I'm okay with that. The heading's nice. The marking and tackling are very, very nice. This also says he's injury prone, but so far, so good. Next in, Musa Banda, and this was the one I really went back and forth on because he's 30 years old. But at the end of the day, I couldn't pass him up. 3-star current ability, 3-star potential ability, solid physically. The mentals, they're not too bad. The 5 aggression is a bit of a bummer for me, but the 17 determination makes up for it. Technically, solid, doesn't really lack anywhere. I picked him up because he can play the entire left side. I needed depth at defensive left back and attacking midfielder on the left. He's getting a decent amount of starts as my defensive left back, and I believe he's gotten 1 start as the attacking midfielder. But he's one of those guys that, even if I'm bringing him onto the bench, you know, he can come in and he can play 4 different positions really, really well. and he's in better shape than Javalilo. Next in, Javi Puado, who is on loan from Espanyol. I needed a second striker. Mizian, I don't know what's going on with Mizian. Every time I play him, he seems to just not do anything. It's been like 20-something games since he scored. But I wanted to get a nice rotation going, and I needed a player who could also play the attacking midfield positions as well. Espanyol had Puado out for loan. He came to us. We are paying a bit of his salary, but that is okay. He came to us because we would guarantee him playing time. I think there were a couple of La Liga 2 teams that were offering him positions, but it was more of a backup. We're putting him in there as a starter. So far, he's rewarded us really, really well. 7 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists, 1 player of the match. Physically, the balance is a little bit of a bummer, but, you know, everything else is solid, if not really good. Mentally, the bravery of 3, I don't know what I can do about that. I know there's a way to pick it up. I just can't remember. It's one of those things I'm going to have to look at. And seeing as how this is the second time I'm going through with this, it's not something I'm really interested in doing right now. Good grief, Jellicoe. The determination is nice, though. Off the ball, work rate, anticipation are pretty solid for this level of football. Technically, really, really good. Crossing, dribbling, finishing, first touch, passing, and technique are all good. His heading's nice. He's a decent marker, which means when he's not playing advanced forward, I could play him as a pressing forward and he'll do okay, or a deep lying forward. It says he makes a really good false 9, but Ruiz is a target man. So I've got Ruiz playing target man, Puado's playing my attacking forward, my advanced forward, and they've had a really good partnership so far. And then last in, Javi Angulo comes to us as a youth player, I want to say, 20 years old. Plays a really good ball-winning midfielder, can play advanced midfielder and also defensive midfielder as well as a regista, although I don't play defensive midfielder. I do have a formation I'm training for that, but it's just one of those I have in my pocket just in case. 2-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. I brought him on board because he's a box-box midfielder, and I love having one of those on my midfield line. Physically, solid. Mentally, really solid. No weaknesses there. Maybe the bravery is a bit on the low side, but it could be a lot worse. It could be Puado's. Technically, good where it counts. He's a really good free kick taker. Long shots, not so much. Passing is good. The technique is okay. Tackling and marking, those need some improvement, and I should be training those. Actually, I'm not training those. He's got really good flair. He's an excellent free kick taker. If I started him more often, he's on my set pieces as one of the primaries, but because he's on the bench, he doesn't take them all the time. But between him, Sagato, Rochi, and Sands, I've got a nice rotation going on in the midfield. And this just happened last game, so let me do this real quick. And Gonzalez, yeah, that was the tight hamstring. And let me go back to the transfers so we can take a look at the outs. So Eden Ramick is on loan at Wiener Neustadt. Miguel Martin to Ballampe for 175,000 euros. Molina, Belmonte, Miguel, Daniels, Alexander, and Ajayi are all youth players who needed more playing time. They would get it here, but I wanted them to play against better quality opponents. And so far, they're doing really well. Getting Ajayi in particular is having a decent season. Well, he was until I had to restart. That's all I can really say about that. Jeez. So anyhow, the season has gotten off to a really good start. I took control of the friendlies, so I wasn't playing 12. Instead, we played 6. They were all spaced out, and frankly, I'm not worried about the wins, draws, or losses there. It's more about everybody staying healthy, getting tactically familiar, and everything like that. And so far, so good, because as you can see, we are unbeaten. And frankly, we were unbeaten until I had to reload the save, too. We had a few draws, but we hadn't lost yet. Against Badajoz, we got off to a good start. Ruiz announced himself the brace of goals, Clemente a goal. Ruiz had a hat trick's worth of goals the next match against Mostoles. We drew against San Fernando, Banda, a very nice goal there. Against Utrera, we won 2-0 thanks to goals by Corian and Puado. We beat Algeciras 3-0 thanks to goals by Ruiz, Sagato, and Puado. Against Lanens, we won 3-1. Puado, Banda, and Ruiz with goals all in the first half. And against Extremadura, we needed to go from Javalilo in the 68th minute. Our attendance is clicking up on our home games. La Victoria Stadium has 12,000 seating capacity, and we're above 50% for that as the season goes forward, and we do fairly well. I would expect that to keep climbing. League-wise, we are currently tied with Cordoba for top of the league. Sevilla, Atletico, and Betis Deportivo are still in the top 4 as well. Our 16 goals, our first best. Our 2 goals allowed are first best. Pedro Ruiz, 7 goals and the highest rating. Robles, 3 assists. Pedro Ruiz, 2 Players of the Match awards. Let me get back to last season here real quick. There we go. Good grief. It took me a little bit. So, Baracaldo and Liga Esportiu. Baracaldo, the team that beat us, ended up getting promoted to La Liga 2. It's nice seeing FC Andorra in there. They lost to Santander on... This is a really confusing thing. If it's a draw, they don't go to a playoff, as I understand it. It's who's ever seated higher, and that's who wins. And because Santander was seated higher, because they got the bye, FC Andorra lost, and then Baracaldo beat Santander, and Esportiu beat Cordoba to get promoted. So that means Cordoba, who has a really, really good squad, is back here again. And as you can see, they're doing really well. They're tied with us as for first place. I did change skins. This is the FM 2.0 skin. I really like it. It's nice. It's clean. I like the dark. The color differentiation is nice. I like that it gives a decent bit of information here, especially on stuff like transfers and payroll. As you can see, I have 17,000 euros of payroll available and a 17,000 transfer budget. The tactics screen is nice. That's not the tactics screen. The tactics screen is nice. It's a good skin. I like it. I'll be using this one for a while. So that said, today we are just going to play the one game against Villanovense and then take a break and come back against Cordoba and Sevilla Atletico. Those of you who follow me on Twitter, the Lorca game that I posted the screenshot of, that's one of the games we drew. So, but that doesn't count anymore, which is a bit of a bummer. But in some ways, it's also kind of good too. So I'm going to go ahead, set my best 11, check the reserves, and we're going to come back for a match against Villanovense here in just a sec. No, we are playing Villanovense today, and they are playing a 4-3-3. We are playing our typical 4-2-4. Until I find players that would fit a better formation, this is what we'll be going with for the time being. I also have a 4-3-1-2 in the back pocket I could pull out if my wingers get tired. I do have the personnel for that, but I'm not really a fan of that formation, just because I've never really been able to get it fully working, to my satisfaction anyways. So, but we do have De La Calzada in goal, Barrera, Clemente, Goronio, and Robles as the defensive back four, Sands and Segato as the midfielders, Banda and Carrion as the attacking midfielders, Pato and Ruiz up top as the strikers. Goronio off the kick up to Robles, over to Sands. Long pass towards Pato. Nice first touch. Oh, and he blasts it past the keeper. That was nice. Wow, I want to see that in the 3D. A nice long pass by Sands. Pato just caught it in his stomach and let it fall at his feet. I don't know what happened there. It's a graphical thing where they probably couldn't display what they wanted to display. But yeah, the Villanovense defender there should feel pretty bad about letting that in. And they just lost Gomez. Clausy on the throw-in, gets it knocked back to him, bounces it off, Carrion sends it up, Pato can't get to it, Borja has it. Over to Navarro, up to Hugo, who loses it, Goronio sends it up to Ruiz, over to Sands, out to Banda, cuts inside. Oh, dispossessed, Vidal's going to run that down. He sends it forward to no one in particular, Clemente has it. Barrera centers it to Segato, out to Carrion all alone on the right, he's got help. Uses it, Robles sends it in, Banda's there, and he scores far post. That was really well done. Nice cross by Robles. I want to say that's his 4th assist. All the numbers are jumbled because of what I did. Throw in, Banda. Pato over to Sands. He centers it. Ruiz is there off the post. Carrion can't get it. Yelko blocks it. Segato gets it top of the box. It bounces back and forth. Ceballos finally clears it to Macia. And he is fouled. Coming up on halftime, a very solid first half for us. 11 shots, 6 on target for a 2-0 lead. A 65% possession advantage. That's really, really good. guys, I am happy. No yellow cards, which is interesting. Hey, we brought 41 away fans. That's nice. Dominguez on the throw-in to Borja. He taps over to Belhaji. Back to Dominguez. Over Ceballos. Long pass towards Hugo, but Hugo can't get there. Robles sends it up to Ruiz. Sands has it. Back to Ruiz. Out to Robles, all alone on the right. He's going to hold it up, cross it in. Ruiz is there, hit off the crossbar. Wow. Clemente on the free kick. Back to De La Calzada. That was interesting. Luckily, De La Calzada was ready for it, or it would have been a goal. Garonio up to Ruiz. Taps into space. Sands. What the heck was that? That was the match engine doing something funky. Belhaji centers it in, knocked away. Segato boots it forward towards Puato. It's headed away. Dominguez is going to run that down for Villanovense. Belhaji can't control it. Sands has it now. He gives the ball away to Masia. Over to Grigori. Back out to Belhaji on the right. In the box. Holds it up. And Hugo's there. Masia couldn't get it. That was... Wow, we dodged a bullet there. Clemente to Ruiz. Back to Clemente. To Robles. Puato's there and he scores, and that is my wife calling, so I'm going to pause this for just a second. It's one of those weekends where we have a ton of errands to run, and she's on one for her now, and actually after this I've got a few to run myself, so Robles sent it in. Puato was there. That was nice. I don't know if we could get Robles to sign for us full time. It would be nice if we could, but I don't know. Well, you know what? 60 minutes in, we'll make a change. We'll bring Havalilo on for carry on. I'm going to bring Angulo on for Segato just to give him a rest. Oh, they've lost 2 players to injury. Clemente taps it up to Sands. Centers it to Angulo. Long pass. Banda's going to run that down on the left. Cuts inside. He has help. Uses it. Barrera. Oh, Sands misplayed that. Clemente misplayed that. Massey is one-on-one. And De La Calzada stops it. And it's a corner kick. And De La Calzada stops that, too. Can we get the clean sheet? Be nice. Throw in for Villanovense. Dominguez. Carlitos. Belhaji over the crossbar. Now we got a couple minutes before getting Robles off. Okay, that was a 3-0 victory. That is really, really good. And Cordoba looks like they lost as well. No, it says they moved down. Oh, because of goal differential. 16 shots, 9 on target for us, 64% possession advantage to their 9-4. Plus we had 2 woodwork hits as well. Wow, that was really, really good. I'm going to tell the boys, well done, guys. Good win for us. So, what we are going to do next, once I go here, is we're going to come back for Cordoba and Sevilla Atletico. Cordoba is probably still going to be in the top 4. Sevilla Atletico is also a top team as well, so it's a good opportunity for us to show how well we're doing against top squads. So, you know, let me save this real quick. And while that's happening, you know, I do this as a hobby, but I'm really kind of annoyed in the fact that I did that thing with the microphone again, and it's just, you know, it's not a severe case of rectal cranial infarction, but man, it was pretty close, and that was just annoying as heck. But I am interested in what you thought of our transfer window. I am interested in what you thought of the players we picked up. I am interested in what you think we will do this season. I think we'll finish top 4. Can we go further? Is promotion a possibility? Well, it's always a possibility, but you know, who knows? I could do something to shoot ourselves in the foot again, and we'll go from there. So if you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM20.